You're listening to the English Football Podcast. Will the new year bring new title winners? Arsenal have extended their lead at the top, dropped points for second and third, which gave the chasing pack a chance to close ground. Villa find their form under Emery, whilst at the bottom there are impressive draws for Everton and Forest. Hello everybody and welcome to the English Football Podcast. Happy New Year, it's 2023 and there's been some good games. On New Year's Eve we'll start straight away with Brighton versus Arsenal. Arsenal now 7 points clear due to the other results around these fixtures. Arsenal looking brilliant. Brighton were a bogey team for them and they have been for quite a while, with losses or draws that have dropped points for them. But a comfortable 4-2 win, definitely comfortable in the first hour or so. Arsenal now, Arsenal now 7 points clear because of the draws around second and third. There's so much confidence in this team. We're good to see they've got Newcastle next, so good to see whether they can go out there with so much confidence and just shred them to bits. They've got so much quality as well. I think it's Saka and Odegaard who looked really good that game. Obviously both getting a goal, Odegaard getting 1 goal and 1 assist. Brighton conceded at the start of the first half and the start of the second half, and that's not very good for them. It puts them on the back foot as soon as you start the game, which isn't good for them. Nketia looking good as well, save them a bit of money without having to buy a new striker, because he's scored a goal today and a goal against West Ham. And if they keep Saka and Odegaard fit and uninjured, they could win the league. Obviously we know the other results with Man City and Newcastle drawing. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Although Brighton could have got a third goal as well. They brought it back to 4-2 and then nearly did, but it was ruled out for offside. They've got a good player though, he was good in the World Cup. It's Mitoma. He could have got 2 goals today, only got the 1. But Brighton kept working hard and didn't give up. And obviously they had that third goal ruled out for offside. Their next fixtures, Everton host Brighton at Goodison Park, and Arsenal play Newcastle. That will be an interesting game, with Arsenal hoping to go clear of Newcastle as well. It will be all very exciting on that Tuesday. Back-to-back drop points at the Etihad though for Manchester City. Haaland though scored his 21st goal of the season, and it ended 1-1 Manchester City versus Everton. Demarai Gray scored an absolute stunner with Everton's only shot on target. They had a 0.09 expected goal rate. A long pause in play maybe halted City's rhythm. It was a tech issue. John Stone said something about that after the game. He didn't think it did, but it did look like it sort of stopped them playing as well as they did. Everton defended well. Pickford gave some good saves as well to keep them in it quite a bit. Some last-ditch defending at the end of the game, or last few minutes. 11 minutes were added on. Got some World Cup stuff there with 11 minutes. I'm sure the tech issue wasn't that long, but it's Man City, and if they were 2-0 up, it probably would have been that much. Probably wouldn't have been that much. Sorry. It's a big point for Everton though in the relegation scrap, with them now I think 2 points clear. 2 points clear of relegation. they didn't give up after conceding, though most teams against Manchester City would, they'd, I don't know, they'd sort of get in their head maybe that they've lost, but Everton didn't. They kept trying. Next game, Everton host Brighton, as we said, and Chelsea, Chelsea hosts Manchester City. In the other game, Newcastle versus Leeds, that ended 0-0. It was two very good games for Arsenal. Fourth drop points at St James's Park, so I think one of them was to Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and now Leeds. And Manchester City, of course. They're still third, although they've played one more game than all of the top four. 2 points ahead of Man U, 2 points below Man City, who are 7 points. Jesse Marsch was interviewed after the game.
Was it a case of the intent was there today, but perhaps the elements and other things didn't want that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about coming here and getting a draw, a 0-0 draw. I thought first half was really good from us. And then second half, they start playing every ball into our end, and then it's all set pieces. But I was really happy with how we dealt with not just the pressure in the crowd in the situation, the moment, but also the mentality to fight for a clean sheet. So I think a big step for us in the right direction, a really important point.
Some opportunities there as well.
Yeah, probably not as much as we would have liked. I thought first half we could have maybe found a way to get a goal, but again, in the end, we knew we were going to have to come here and have to defend well and deal with the elements, a good team and a big crowd, and we did that.
They next play Leeds host West Ham and Arsenal host Newcastle, as we've said. That'll be a good, interesting game. For fourth place Tottenham, who were fourth place, now gone fifth with their loss to Aston Villa at home. Spurs not looking like a top four club anymore. They've only got 1 point from their 2 games back, with their games being against Brentford and Aston Villa. It's I don't know what's up with them. Maybe the break has sort of stopped their rhythm of this season. But on the other side, though, Villa are looking really, really good with Unai Emery. They've played a game against Tottenham, and Liverpool managed to win one of them. And they did play very well against Liverpool anyway. Aston Villa next play Wolves, and Crystal Palace host Tottenham. Another good draw for the team inside the bottom 3. Nottingham Forest drew 1-1 with Chelsea at the City Ground, and surprisingly Forest dominated the game except for possession. They had more shots on target. Although for Chelsea, they need to come to the City Ground. They're in the bottom 3, Nottingham Forest. So you've got to win there, especially if you're Chelsea. I think they're 8th now. They must be, because Fulham are. But anyway, in the bottom 3 now, Forest, it looks like this. So Bournemouth are 15th with a minus 18 goal difference and 16 points. Everton below them with 15 points. West Ham and Forest only separated by goal difference on the relegation zone, both with 14 points. Forest with minus 22 goal difference, West Ham with minus 9. And then Wolves with 13 points, Southampton with 12 points at the bottom. They've all played 17 matches, so it's all to play for down there. And their next games, Chelsea play Man City and Southampton host Nottingham Forest. That'll be a huge game. And it looks like if West Ham don't beat Leeds, they'll be in the bottom 3 by next week. In the other game at Anfield, Liverpool took on Leicester City. Leicester took the lead from a goal from Dewsbury Hall. They did play well. They didn't really deserve to lose all 3 points. Unlucky day though for Wout Fass with 2 own goals. One of them, it came across goal. It looked like the keeper would have got there. He was not very happy with him. He came across it, hit his shin I think, and just bounced over the keeper and into the back of the net. The second one, Darwin Núñez, who we'll talk about in a minute, chipped it over the goalkeeper. Everyone thought he was going in, hit the post, and Fass couldn't sort his feet out and it went into his own net. Núñez, unlucky not to get a goal or assist. Obviously that game he nearly got one, everyone thought it went in. Although once he does get his finishing ability on point, he will be a very scary player for defenders to face. Because he's had, I think it's the most the most shots in a game, well per game, per 90 in the Premier League. So if he can get his ability to score them and take the chances, then Liverpool have got a very good player on their hands. Talking about Liverpool, they have signed Cody Gakpo, a left winger, probably because Diaz is injured at the moment. It'll be for quite a long time as well, so it'll be a scary front three with either Núñez or Firmino on the left, Gakpo, and on the right, Mohamed Salah. He's scored 3 goals in the World Cup and 9 goals in the Eredivisie. They signed him for 37 million, although he's worth 52 million, so got quite the bargain there. Liverpool next go to Brentford and Leicester host Fulham. At Molineux, it's always a tricky game for Manchester United, but Rashford, who was benched for oversleeping, came on to score the winning goal. They're now 2 points clear in 4th position, and obviously with Spurs' loss, they could finish top 4 this season. I was rethinking my Premier League predictions from before the break. I thought Man City would win the league. I'm sort of thinking about that. I thought Man City would win the league, Arsenal would come second, Newcastle third. No, I thought Spurs would come third, which isn't looking likely at the moment. Newcastle 4th, Liverpool and Man U in the Europa League places, and Chelsea in the Europa Conference League, which sort of thinking maybe not so much now. But Rashford being benched for not turning up to the meeting because he overslept does show Ten Hag's discipline in the team. It was a mess before Ten Hag came in, so he's really structured the team and disciplined them. Rashford was with BT Sport after the game.
So yeah, Marcus, you're in a bit of minor trouble with the boss, should we say? But have you made amends now?
Yeah, obviously it's the team rules, and I think it's a mistake that can happen, but I'm obviously disappointed not to play, but I understand the decision, and ultimately I'm obviously happy that we managed to win the game anyway. So yeah, I think we can draw a line under it and move on.
What did you get in trouble for?
I was a little bit late for a meeting.
Okay.
But yeah, I slept in, overslept, so it can happen.
It can happen, certainly when you're on a hot streak. You've been using a lot of energy. What's that, your 11th of the season already? It's more than double last season, so you're in fine form right now.
Yeah, I think I'm in a good place, and I'm just pleased with the way that we're progressing. Really, I think in the past we can easily lose that game or definitely draw it. Even with scoring 1 goal, I think they put a lot of pressure on us, and we stood up to it and defended well. And David had to make 1 massive save at the end, and a good save from a free kick as well. So it's a difficult game, and we've always found it difficult to come out and win. But like I said, we managed to do that today.
There seems a good unity in this squad at the moment since you come back from the World Cup.
Yeah, I've mentioned before, it's difficult to come back because emotion-wise everyone's at different levels, different stages. But yeah, it's been important for us to just stick together and help each other through what's a difficult moment for the lads that didn't win the World Cup basically. And yeah, it's obviously a moment where we need each other a lot.
And that's a difficult scrap you've had out there today, and very important that you are scrapping and in the top four, because it's going to be a scramble this season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be tough like any other season. We're gonna push ourselves and try and get as high up the table as possible. But yeah, like you said, a lot of teams are doing well this year, and they're being very consistent as well. So we're going to have to be on top of our game to keep up with them and try and go one step further and get in front of the team.
They next play Wolves next play Aston Villa away, and Manchester United host Bournemouth. We'll go over to the London Stadium then, where it's in trouble for West Ham. Both Brentford goals from throw-ins which West Ham could not defend. West Ham now 1 point, well, not anymore, they're drawn on points with Nottingham Forest for relegation. They need to get points in January. Their January fixtures are Leeds, Wolves and Everton, because in February they've got some hard games with Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs and Nottingham Forest. The West Ham Way released a statement about David Moyes. We back the manager, there are no obvious replacements available. If David Moyes was unemployed and we took the change to manager, he'd be the exact person we'd bring in. So it looks like David Moyes will be staying for the time being. So anyway, next fixtures, Brentford play Liverpool and West Ham play Leeds. Need to get a result there, West Ham do. Anyway, at Craven Cottage, Fulham won against Southampton, with Ward-Prowse scoring at both ends of the pitch, with an own goal in the first half, and as the second half kicked off, a goal from a free kick from Southampton, which made it 1-1. Palhinha, who was man of the match, scored the winning goal in the 88th minute, which makes Southampton stay bottom. Fulham now 7th with Chelsea's other result. They next play Leicester, whilst Southampton face Nottingham Forest. That'll be a game they need to win. Bournemouth lost to Crystal Palace 2-0 at home. It's the second Premier League away win for Crystal Palace, and they were both from corners. Bournemouth have conceded 12 goals from set pieces. That's a record high Premier League stat. Crystal Palace were bad on Boxing Day with their loss at home. I forgot who it was too, but they were very good today at Bournemouth. Shown that today, and that they hopefully will have their rhythm back. Bournemouth next play Manchester United away, and Crystal Palace host Tottenham Hotspur. Right, that's all the games then for round 18. We'll be with you soon enough for the other games. It's been all packed together. But thank you for listening. You've been listening to the English Football Podcast. Tune in next time, where we all talk about the round 19 fixtures. And we'll see whether Arsenal can go more clear at the top with their game against Newcastle, and whether Man City will drop any more points against Chelsea. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Goodbye.